Candace here with Crafting Elegance and Paper Crafting Elegance on Instagram. And I am coming on today to share with you my Christmas in July 2020 PHA Challenge recap. So Christian from Christian's Crafty Adventures created a challenge for all of us crafters and paper hoarders to use our scrap stash and prepare some Christmas projects in July to be ahead of the holiday season. With the challenge, each week we were given a theme of projects to create and post those projects with using the hashtag Christmas in July 2020 PHA Challenge on either Instagram or YouTube or both. So for the entire month of July, I have been creating projects using the hashtag and posting on Instagram and YouTube. And as a final recap of the projects, I wanted to come on and share with you everything that I created as one full video. So for week 1 of the challenge, we were to create our embellishments. The embellishments we were to create were going to be used on all the projects that we were going to be creating throughout the month. So I created a ton of embellishments that week. Many of the embellishments have been used on the projects that you see here, but I also have some embellishments left over. So here's just an example of some of the embellishments that are left over that I can still make projects with. So I am using the Christmas Magic collection from Doodlebug. So I purchased several of the SVG files from the Silhouette store. So here are some of the remaining SVG files that I created. There's a bell. Here's like a present with the gingerbread. I still have Mrs. Claus left. And then I also used dies from my stash. So here's one of my favorites. This is that Creative Time, My Creative Time candy cane, layered candy cane die. I have some Santa hats that are from Cottage Cuts. I also have some cocoa cups from Cottage Cuts. Some bows that I made from Pink and Maine, some envelopes from my MFT die, a cocoa cup from My Favorite Things. There's another cocoa cup. These were some ornaments that I created from, I believe this was from Stampin' Up! And also like a little shaker that I created from Paper Tray Ink. So still a ton of embellishments left over. These were some of the die cuts. And then I also have some embellishment clusters where I used some of the cutter parts from the 12 by 12 paper. So here's one that I didn't use yet. Another one. Some more from the cutter parts. So this is still left over, so I still can make some projects, but I did craft a lot. So this was week 1. Then week 2, we were to create some tags, bag toppers, paper clips, and paper bags. So I'm going to start off with the paper bags. So I created these cute little paper bags. These bags are from Mama Elephant. It's the Mama Elephant Favor bag. And I used some of the embellishment clusters that I created. This is one of the SVG files from Silhouette store. I also created, it's getting stuck. This is using a die from Poppy Stamps. I love this poinsettia die from Poppy Stamps. And then I also used some of the icon stickers from the collection. So here I'm using the Santa Claus and Elf icon sticker. I'm also using a die here from Lawn Fawn for the sentiment. And then I also created one more bag. And this is using my rosette die from AliExpress and another one of the icon stickers. So these are the 4 paper bags that I made for week 2. And then I also made, I challenged myself to use Christian's tutorial to create this 3D project, which is the typewriter. I will link below Kristian's tutorial on the typewriter. This was a lot of fun, guys. I used the 12 by 12 paper from the collection to create the typewriter. So I used the candy cane stripe as well as the Santa Claus paper here. It was really easy to follow. There was no SVG file involved. It was simply just using your cutting tool, your scoring tool, and it came together literally in minutes. This little 3D box is a box, and inside of it can hold a ton of goodies. So this is where I have all of the tags. So just to finish a little bit more on the typewriter, I am using one of my SVG files from the Silhouette store. I am also using my MFT envelope dies that I cut out in several different sizes and added this on here. This is a little chit chat piece from the collection. Down here I'm using some, I think this is like a 1/2-inch circle punch where I made the little keys for the typewriter. The sentiment here is from Stampin' Up. I added another envelope, and then here is a North Pole postage stamp from the Silhouette store. I guess these are the knobs that you would use on the typewriter are made from tea lights, which I think this was so incredibly clever of Kristian. So I really loved this typewriter. It was a lot of fun to put together. I hadn't really done any 3D projects, so this was a challenge and I loved doing it. So also for week 2, we were to create tags, and I created a bunch of tags. I made tags using some of the stamps from the collection. So I stamped and colored these with my Copic markers. I used some of the bows that I created from week 1, and I made some little shaker tags here. So I made several of those, and that's what these look like. And these are all images from the stamp set. They're shakers, and then I cut them out with my, I fussy cut them out by hand. And then I also created some smaller tags just using some of the cutter parts and some of the chit chat from the collection. So here are some of these tags. Here's Mrs. Claus again. Here's another one. This is using some eyelash trim from Hobby Lobby to give it a little bit of sparkle and shine. And then here's another one. And then I also use some of my dies to create tags. So this is using my MFT Stitch Layered Tags die, and then that My Creative Time candy cane that I created. And the sentiment here is from Lawn Fawn, and it's using its wavy banners sentiments for Christmas as well as the banner die. This one here is using, again, the same tag set. This sentiment up here is from Lawn Fawn, and the ornaments are from Stampin' Up. And then here's a tag using some of the SVG files, and another one using some of the SVG files and some of the chit chat. So those were all the tags that I made for week 2. I did make some paper clips, but they are being used on the Memorydex cards that I created, so I'll show those a little later. So that was week 2 with the typewriter, the paper bags, the tags, and the paper clips. Then for week 3, we were to create some Christmas cards, gift card holders, and slimline cards. So here are all the cards that I created for week 3. I absolutely love making cards. I am a card maker, so this was my jam for week 3. So the cards are pretty much using the Silhouette files that I purchased from the Silhouette store. These are the files for the Christmas Magic collection. So the first one here is using the gingerbread file, and I'm using some of the chit chat from the collection. Here's another one. This is using the elves and the sleigh. This one as well. I have one with Santa. He's one of my favorites, and I'm using some dies from my stash and some of the 6x6 pattern paper here. Another SVG file from the collection, the sentiments from Stampin' Up. Another one, the sentiment here is from Avery L. And then this card is using my favorite Lawn Fawn Stitch Gingerbread die. Love this one. And another SVG file and some of the Chit Chat. So these were the cards that I created for week 3. I also created some gift card holders. So I'll show that here. Oh, I forgot to show you for week 2 here with some additional tags that I created. I did create 4 of these, and this was a layered tag from Jaded Blossom. The rosette here is from AliExpress, and the December 25th is from My Creative Time. So I did create 4 of these tags for week 2. But for the gift card holders, here are some of the gift card holders that I created. This is using a die from Fun Stamper's Journey, and the sentiment here is from the Greetery. I used some of the 12x12 paper from the collection to create these. And then I also created some coffee cup gift card holders. This is using the Honeybee Stamps gift card holder die, and I'm using again that poinsettia from Poppy Stamps. Now when I did create, I like to create things so that they coordinate. So you can see here that when I made the paper bag and I made the gift card holder, they kind of are coordinating. They're using some of the 12x12 paper as well as some of the 6x6 paper. They're in the same pattern, in the same color scheme. So I like to use things like that as sets. So I also made a couple more gift card holders with that die. Again, this is using a sentiment from the Greetery. And here's another one. And this one kind of goes and coordinates with this gift bag. So I did kind of make things as sets. So that is what I created for week 3. Then for week 4, we were next to create either a December daily, a mini album, Memorydex cards, or gift packaging. So I challenged myself for week 4 to create a December daily, but do it as a Memorydex style. So here is the Memorydex cards and holder that I created for week 4. This is all 25 Memorydex cards that I individually created for my December daily. And the holder is also handmade. I made this using some chipboard and some of the pattern paper from the collection. It's pretty sturdy. I will link below the video tutorial that I used to create the Memorydex box. So I'm just gonna quickly go through the 25 Memorydex cards that I created here. So the first one is using some of the Chit Chat from the collection, and it's using one of the paper clips that I created from week 2. This one here is mimicking one of the cards that I created using the Lawn Fawn dies. This one here is using one of the embellishment clusters and some of the Chit Chat that I purchased. This is using another SVG file, and it mirrors the card that I made for week 3 with the gingerbread house. Here's another card using the Chit Chat and one of the paper clips I created. This one is using some of the Chit Chat, some of the icon stickers, and then a die from Cat Scrappiness. More of the SVG files. Some of the coffee cups that I created from my embellishments in week 1. More SVG files here. And a sentiment from Lawn Fawn. Then this one is using some of the embellishments of the ornaments that I created from Stampin' Up. And then this sentiment here is from Pebbles. More of the embellishment clusters. Here's an SVG file. This is using a die from MFT and some of the cutter parts. And again, that tree from Cat Scrappiness. More of the SVG files here and some of the 6x6 paper and the Chit Chat. More of the stickers and a paper clip I created, some of the Chit Chat as well, and using some of the 12x12 paper. This one mirrors the card that I created from week 3. Here is a shaker ornament from Paper Tray Ink that I created here. This is using a lawn fawn die and some of the stamp images and some of the Chit Chat. This is another die from my stash. This is Elizabeth Craft Designs apron, and the cookies are from my Creative Time. More SVG files. Another SVG file as well. Here are some stickers from the sticker sheet and some of the Chit Chat. And then the last two, it's getting stuck, is an SVG file as well. Some of the Chit Chat, some of the 12x12 paper. And then here is the My Creative Time candy cane die in December 25th. So that's all 25 Memorydex cards that I created for week 4 of the challenge. And the box here does hold all of the Memorydexes on the straw as well. So they do fit in here pretty well. I'm not gonna put them all back in here the correct way, but I'm just gonna stack them in. So I had a lot of fun creating these Memorydex cards. It was a little bit of labor of love, but having the embellishments created from week 1 did help put these together. I know I'm not putting these all back in here the correct way, but this was a lot of fun though. And they're all blank on the back so that I can go ahead and add photos or journaling when December comes. And I'm all set and ready to go for the holidays. So I'm just putting them back in here for now. So that was week 4 of the challenge. Really, really love this December daily. Then for week 5, we were then to create a 3D project. And so for my 3D project, I went ahead and created this mailbox. Absolutely, absolutely love this little mailbox. I decided to alter a mailbox instead of creating one out of paper because I really wanted him to be sturdy, and I also wanted him to be able to hold an A2 size card. So easily A2 size cards can fit inside this mailbox. Love it. It's so cute. Can definitely hold a lot. It actually can hold all of the 8 cards that I created from week 3. So the mailbox was painted with white paint, I'm sorry. And I did paint the little flag on it as well. And then I used some of my Bull Bunny paper that matched really well with this collection to decoupage the mailbox. And then I also used some of the 12x12 paper as well. I did give it a little bit of a border to make it some extra pop in color. And the envelopes on there from my die from my creative time. And then the Santa is an SVG file from the Silhouette store. So I really had a lot of fun painting the mailbox and putting it together as a decoupage piece. And it can just sit in my room with the rest of the collection and hold the cards in there and just be really nice and decorative in my craft room for the holiday season, because I now have the I have the mailbox, I have the December daily, I have some of the cards inside. It's just all cute. The typewriter as well kind of really goes along with this theme of Santa letters. So I really love the Christmas Magic collection from Doodlebug. It was a lot of fun creating. I really appreciate Christian putting together this challenge. And I really hope you guys got some inspiration from the projects that I made for the Christmas in July 2020 PHA challenge. Okay, thank you guys all for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please go right ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do also post projects on my Instagram, so please follow me over on Instagram as Papercrafting Elegance. And thank you all again. Bye for now.